All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashin Yahshua, HaRachakadash. Double honors to apostles of Great Billstone and salutations to the elect, which we hope to be. It's your brother Chawat. You got a quick lesson for you Negro, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who better shame and looking like heathens, who spirit bear witness that they're a child of Heavenly Father. And the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, who the world only calls Jehovah, God of Yahweh. And the name of the Heavenly Son is Yahweh Shai, who the world only calls Jesus Christ or Jesus Christus or Yeshua. Quick lesson. Any other precepts come out, you already know it's the Holy Spirit, whether you believe it or not. And uh uh Apostle well, I say it like this. I had um they I forget what type of courtroom it is and whatnot and stuff that might get pressed to the Supreme Court and stuff, right? And Lord willing and stuff, I put the video in the description box, right? And pretty much stuff, I was saying and stuff to one of my relatives in the past and stuff where it's like, because I already knew about martial law, you know what I'm saying? Because that's Jacob's trouble, right? But then at the same time and stuff, it's like, I was thinking and stuff that it might be medical martial law. The brother Maya Collins stuff from LA, which he's great millstone as well. GMS influence of the Almighty and stuff or something like that, right? And the thing is that he was making mention and stuff about once they add medical and stuff, uh, 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 once they add medical into something and stuff, your constitutional rights and stuff is gone. Like it's taken off the map. Like it doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying, right? And we already know and stuff that when it come down to Esau, even the full-blooded and spirited Caucasian, no matter how you look, no matter what ethnicity and stuff that he finds himself in and stuff, that he has a perpetual hatred and stuff amongst the nation of Israel. I mean, against the nation of Israel, right? So with that being the case, you know, they're gonna come with what's called the mark of the beast, the radio frequency identification chip, micro C hip or microchip, right? Been saying it for so long. NFC near field communications, which uses RFID technology, which is a microchip. What else? Uh, uh, what is it? Uh, uh, you know, BCI brain computer interface. You know what I'm saying? RFID mesh. You know what I'm saying? Which is the same as the BCI and Neuralink. You know what I'm saying? Which is also similar and stuff to the BCI, right? And the thing is that you got the nanites, you got various other things and whatnot and stuff where they want to merge you with to make you a cyborg, where you half man or half woman, no, half man in machine or half woman in machine or half child in machine, right? And fret not when it come down to the nanites and whatnot and stuff, right? Because at the same time, it still got to be according to prophecy, as it says in Isaiah 14:27, that nobody's going to disannul, you know what I'm saying, meaning frustrating stuff, the Lord's prophecy. So everything going to have to work according to how the Lord said it's going to happen. And what's a clear example? How the fact that Donald Trump try to bring peace and whatnot and stuff, and Iran and in Israel and stuff still started fighting with each other. You know what I'm saying, right? With the ceasefire and all that and stuff, right? And guess what? It didn't work. Why? Because it's according to the Lord's prophecy. So when it come down to the Lord's word and whatnot, there's nothing to fear. You know what I'm saying? The only thing to fear and stuff is really Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and having a lack of faith and stuff in that hour of temptation, right? But this and pretty much stuff, how you had Make America Great Again and whatnot and stuff, that ain't happening according to Jeremiah 15:23 on down, right? It's what was it? It's the Maha now. It's the MAHA. You know what I'm saying? Make America healthy again. You know what I'm saying? And remember, I don't know if people remember a while back and stuff, probably on my old page, but there was a conference that was made, and I think it was the World Health Organization, right? And they was talking a while back and stuff about how you had to tell you know, there was well children from 0 to 4 years old and stuff. You had to teach them about homosexuality, transsexuality and whatnot and stuff, bisexuality. Nothing about heterosexuality and stuff, but everything else that was against heterosexuality. You know what I'm saying? And you had to teach them that and stuff, and also, teach them, teach them where you're not just telling this and telling that and stuff. They do their homework and whatnot and stuff. Where they was trying to promote that and stuff upon the children, and it's all because of Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they old, they shall not depart. Right. So pretty much and stuff, you know, for the fact that it was the World Health Organization and whatnot, just in case, you was someone and stuff who was against that and whatnot, they would have a reason. And what would be their reason? That you will be endangering the health, even though that is a sexuality. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have anything to do with health. You know what I'm saying? But it's a sexuality and stuff, right? But since it was the World Health Organization, the WHO, right? Since it was them, you know what I'm saying, right? It looked like it was like, say if an individual and stuff didn't want to teach their children and stuff. And when they zero and stuff, I'm talking about that's like a couple of months and whatnot and stuff, right? But guess what? You do have early education and whatnot and stuff, right? You got motherfuckers and stuff who teach 3-year-olds and stuff how to swim and shit. You know what I'm saying? And you would never think and stuff to throw a baby in the pool. You know what I'm saying? To try to, and that's more than 3 feet and stuff just to help them swim or learn how to swim. But they wanted to do that same thing and stuff, but when it come down to the different sexualities and stuff, what I'm saying, that they wanted to bring upon the children, and would it be in a health organization, right? And I do have an example. When it come down to the World Health Organization, you know what I'm saying, it was a means. It is more likely a means and whatnot that if it get found out and stuff that you wasn't teaching your children this, then guess what? They'll try to sit up here and be like, well, you as a parent and stuff will be a health hazard. You know what I'm saying, to remove you and stuff from your children. You know what I'm saying, and that's found in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. You know what I'm saying, and where it says that you wouldn't have joy with your children and stuff, meaning they'll be taken away. You know what I'm saying, right? Like what's it called, DCFS, Department of Child uh, Humans, Child Health or Human, but it's DCFS, I think it's called. And you can look that up. Where if you're not a fit parent and stuff, if you're not a fit parent and stuff, they'll take your children away. Well, what happens and stuff if you don't want to teach your children out more or outside and stuff of heterosexuality and whatnot? They'll make that a health hazard and stuff just to remove your children. You know what I'm saying, right? And a while back, they was some years back and stuff. You know what they was doing? They was sitting up here, uh, 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 um, if children and stuff, you know what I'm saying, that was underneath their parents' household and whatnot and stuff, right? If children and stuff wanted to be transsexuals, or they wanted to be homosexuals and stuff, and their parents and stuff didn't agree with that, you know what I'm saying, they'll either be able to call in on the parents and whatnot and stuff, or it was a place and stuff, or shelters that they was uh, 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 there was shelters where they was going to give children and stuff who wanted to live that way. You know what I'm saying? And then you had like this one father and stuff, right? I think it was the Board of Education. And he's reading a book, you know what I'm saying, that they approve to put in schools, libraries, preschoolers, kindergartners, and then at the same time it was required by the teachers and stuff to be hands on. Now you had in South Park, right? Predictive programming, right? And you had I don't know his name and stuff, but he always got like that green sleeveless vest, and he's balding, forehead balding with the glasses, and he always got that little puppy and stuff on his hand, right? And what was he teaching? The I think either the preschoolers or the kindergartners and stuff, right? right? He was showing them and stuff how to put a condom on using your mouth and whatnot and stuff all the way to the base. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's what's actually what the World Health Organization and stuff, that's what they was promoting and stuff when it come down to schools. Now you had this one guy and stuff in that board of education. He came and he read a children's book, you know what I'm saying, that they wanted and stuff within the schools. And they said he was reading out from the book and whatnot and stuff out loud when he was able to be placed on the podium. And the board of education and stuff had a nerve to sit up here and say that that's inappropriate. And here it is and stuff. It's like, so how is it inappropriate? But yeah, you want to put this and stuff. Here it is amongst parents or amongst adults. It's inappropriate, but yet they want to put it in the schools, right? So so that's for the for it says make America the Maha, make America healthy again. You know what I'm saying, right? So guess what? They're going to, and then it's also the Maba too, right? Which is what's it called? So like I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. And as you can see, it says the mission to make America healthy again. MAHA includes MABA. It says make America biotech accelerate, right? And you already seeing stuff in Whole Foods. They got the biometrics where they scan your hand and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, make you feel like you one of the X-Men and stuff, like they did when it come down to Xavier. They scanning your eyes and whatnot, or what they show and stuff in because they putting that and stuff in a lot of stores that are still gonna be up and running and stuff. You know what I'm saying, right? When they present their new world order. Uh, uh, you saw that in the book, no, the movie Minority Report. You know what I'm saying? They had that shit and stuff in Amazon and Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Where as soon as you walked in and whatnot and stuff, they had your information. You were surrounded by a digital square, and they had all your information. You know what I'm saying, right? So pretty much what they talking about, they talking about wearable devices, you know what I'm saying? And those wearable devices and stuff, they already got those. You know what I'm saying, right? But guess what? Those wearable devices and stuff are external. You know what I'm saying? Meaning you can put them on and take it off like the Apple Watch. You know what I'm saying? Or when motherfuckers be running and whatnot and stuff, and they got the little what the shit called? I forget. But they got the little thing where you running and stuff, you know what I'm saying, and it's keeping your showing your heart rate and whatnot and stuff. Those are wearable devices, right? So for them to promote that and stuff within this court system, you know what I'm saying, or this court conference and whatnot and stuff, I forget which one. But with them promoting that and stuff, you know what that means? That means and stuff that guess what? They're talking about implementing and stuff the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast and stuff already been here. You know what I'm saying, right? But then at the same time, uh, but at the same time, soon it's going to be made mandatory. So I'm gonna read the rest of this article, right? That the Elder Yashawamba and stuff has shared. It says Secretary Kennedy. It says the mission to make America healthy again. MAHA includes MABA, make American biotech accelerate. It says President Trump showed in his first term what happens when you unlock American science breakthroughs happen fast. It says now we're going to do it again. We know the power of the United States biotech. It's time to let it flourish, not tie it up in red tape, misalignment. It says and a process that gives the edge to foreign interest in large incumbents. We're clearing the path to transform great science and real cures, right? So here it is and stuff. They're going to use technology and whatnot and stuff, right? Just to bring forth cures. And guess what? When it come down to it's a cartoon and stuff. It's called Rex. You know what I'm saying, right? He used nanotech uh uh I I don't want to I can't really say Ben 10. That's different, right? But when it came down to the Omnitrix and shit and stuff, using his DNA and stuff just so he could have access that, because that's one thing. Since his DNA and stuff was in the Omnitrix and whatnot, the Omnitrix and stuff was only dedicated and stuff to him. You know what I'm saying, right? And the thing is that nobody else and stuff. Well, it would stay attached to him stuff, but say if it fell off, nobody else can put it on, right? It says it says a lower cost and better health for the American people. Life science and biotech are at the heart of that. So pretty much what that is transhumanism, when you half machine and half person. You know what I'm saying, right? Right. And pretty much the stuff what's gonna happen. They're eventually down the line and stuff. I really think and stuff that when it come down to Jacob's trouble, which I'll grab right quick, um, I think it's going to be medical martial law. You know what I'm saying, right? And the thing is that you're going to have faith. Fear not work people and stuff worried about, if they can they make you take it and stuff? Can they strap you down and woo to woo? You know what I'm saying? Remembering stuff, taking the mark of the beast and stuff is a choice. It's an option. You know, it's an option. Oh, Joe. Uh, right? It's an option. You know what I'm saying? They can't force it on you and stuff. They need you to bow the knee. Just like how it says in Romans the 11th chapter, Apostle Paul was reiterating when it came down to Elijah, where he thought he was the only prophet and stuff that was still teaching. And the Lord told him that, guess what, fear not and stuff, for there are 7,000 men, you know what I'm saying, who have not bowed the knee and stuff to Baal. And Baal goes in Lord. What's the Lord and stuff today? You know what I'm saying? Well, in America and stuff, it will be Donald J. Trump. Matter of fact, it won't even be him. It will really be the elites. You know what I'm saying? The JOO issues. You know what I'm saying? The ones that control all the central banks and whatnot. They'll be the ones and stuff who really control the world. You know what I'm saying? As it says in Joel 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Well, we already know that it's the full-blood spirited Caucasian. You know what I'm saying, right? Right. And the thing is that this is what they're promoting and whatnot and stuff, right? And this is what they're gonna promote. You know what I'm saying? But first, well, as they doing already and stuff, they got to do order out of chaos. You know what I'm saying, right? Salakia, if I can find it right quick. All right, so it's called Novos Ordo Seclorium, right? Which means New World Order, and only for that New World Order and stuff to come, they got to do Ordo out of chaos, which is order out of chaos, right? So they're gonna promote on purpose chaos. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have sleeper cells, agents and whatnot and stuff that came in with that big flood and stuff from America. I mean, into America and whatnot. There was an old video. There was an old video and stuff with one of the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Had showed this video of a guy and stuff that was on like on the borders and stuff, and not just with Mexico, but various others. And he was saying and stuff that it's like, he was a cop, sheriff, whatever. You know what I'm saying? His badge and stuff, the star was different. You know what I'm saying? It had them little round bulb like tips and stuff. So I think he was a sheriff. And the thing is that he was saying that it was people from Yemen, Asia. It wasn't just Mexicans and stuff that's trying to slide up in here and whatnot and stuff, right? So all this was really planned. All this was planned and stuff. And what is this? This was underneath Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? Before Trump got into office, right? And uh, uh, pretty much and stuff. What happened was that it brought in a lot of agents and stuff in here, and soon they're going to be activating stuff to continue stuff with the trouble, which is going to be Revelations 12:12. But I get that. So this Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 7, it says, "For alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It's even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." And remember and stuff when it came down to Jacob, right? This bear with me. There's Genesis 27, and because they got that old hatred, right? Um, there's Genesis 27, the stolen blessing. But when you go to Genesis 25th chapter and stuff, Well, since I know this Genesis 25 and it's Genesis 25 and 23. It says, and the Lord said, I started verse 20. It says in 20. It says, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethel, the Syrian of Padanaram. It says, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. It says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife. It says, because she was barren and she couldn't have children. It says, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. It says, and the children struggled together with her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, Yahweh Shemiel Shah. And it says, and the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, same blood, one was underneath the covenant, one would not be. And it says, two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. It says, and the other people shall be stronger than the other people. It says, and we saw that in the movie Get Out. It says, and the elder shall serve the younger. It says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there was twins in her rooms, fraternal twins. It says, verse 25, and fraternal twins and stuff is when one is brown and the other one and stuff is light skinned. You know what I'm saying? But look the same, right? It said verse 25, it says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, right? And at Esau, it goes into Ishashwa, which means to be wasted away. You know what I'm saying, right? Right? It don't mean hairy, right? It means wasted away. So they changed that too. To be done. Uh, so like it doesn't mean hairy and stuff. It means wasted away. You know what I'm saying? You know, I see that they took that definition away. Bear with me. Yeah, it doesn't mean hairy and stuff because Issachar hairy as fuck. You know what I'm saying, right? Especially their arms, especially on the females too. I know the bush go crazy down there, but anyways, it's like this. It's uh um it don't mean hairy. It means wasted away is he. You know what I'm saying? You know, and why is he wasted away and stuff? Because he has no melanin. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can see his blood, you know, through his through his skin. You know what I'm saying, right? He's an enemy and stuff of the sun. And this is the mark of Cain and stuff being reincarnated, right? So this Genesis 26 and Genesis 25 and 26, it says, and after that came his brother out. It says, in his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And notice and stuff when Jacob came out and whatnot and stuff, there was no description. Why? Because that was the normal look when it come down to many individuals. So to be a clean leopard, as it says in Leviticus 13, 12 through 13, right? Esau was a clean leopard and whatnot and stuff, meaning that he lacked melanin. You know what I'm saying, right? And with him lacking melanin and stuff, that's when they can turn red. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't no blush. Now you got some individuals, they light skinned, they might blush and whatnot and stuff. Or if you get you a Latina, right, or what is it, a chica, or what the fuck, what is it, Dominican woo and stuff, and they happen to be light skinned and stuff, right? They got melanin too and stuff, but guess what? You never have seen. You might seen some Hispanics and stuff that look Caucasian with the blonde hair and blue eyes, or green eyes and stuff and so on and so forth. But at the same time and stuff, they slide out in the sun and stuff. Guess what? They don't need sunscreen. They don't turn all fucking red and whatnot and stuff. Even if they stay out there for a long period of time and stuff. Why? Because they got melanin. You know what I'm saying? But the browner you are and stuff, the more melanin and stuff that you have. You know what I'm saying, right? And that includes the gums. And melanin and stuff, right? We get sun from the we get vitamin D from the sun, which strengthens us. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you could say and stuff, all of Israel, all 12 tribes, no matter what they our appearance is or complexion and stuff, that we are the Kal-Els. And what are Kal-Els and stuff? All powerful and stuff. And who is Kal-El? Superman, right? Psalms 82:6, it says that ye are gods, right? Right. So here it is. Jacob came out normal, but it made a description of Esau because Esau came out not normal. So this Genesis 25:26 again. It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. It says, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Right. And a score is 20 years. So 80. Two times 20 times 3 and stuff is 60. So he was 60 years old while he had a baby, right? Babies or begat children, right? Right. And it says verse 27, it says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, Bear Grylls. You know what I'm saying? Old boy and stuff who do the river monster and stuff, but it could be possible and stuff that he might be Jake. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures do say that we the sands of the sea. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the sand on the beach and stuff, right? It's also the sand that's underneath the water. And it says, and Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents, right? So Jacob is an individual and stuff who like to stay at the crib, chill at the crib, right? Verse 28, it says, and guess what? You got some Israelites out there and stuff who like to go on adventures and whatnot. But in the end, it's more about staying at the crib, right? So Genesis 25:28, it says, and Isaac loved Esau. It says, because he did eat of his venison. It says, but Rebekah loved Jacob. So Jacob was a mama's boy. You know what I'm saying, right? 29. And it will be, vice versa and stuff. You a female, you will be a daddy's girl, right? Verse 29, it says, and Jacob sod pottage, right, which is meat, boiling it. Sod means to boil. And it says, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. It says, and as you can see, in verse 30 and stuff, it says red pottage. But when it says pottage and stuff, it's slightly and stuff slanted. That's italic, meaning that it was added. So here it is. It was saying, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red, right? So guess what? That's meat. You know what I'm saying? So that means that shit was raw. That's why, even though a lot of Jakes and stuff get into and stuff, what they do and stuff is develop a tolerance, right? But not all Israelites and stuff can just eat that medium rare. You know what I'm saying? Or dip it with the blood and whatnot. If you go to one of those fancy restaurants and whatnot where they give you a big ass plate and stuff in a cube. You know what I'm saying? Hey, to each his own. you know. But at the same time and stuff, what tends to happen? Jake tend to get sick. You know what I'm saying? Right? But when it come down to Esau and stuff, it ain't no problem. I remember it was this one guy, he took raw meat and stuff, right? And I think it was pork, and he ate it raw and stuff, and he over here cutting it up, he eating it and stuff, and he's like, see, there's no problem, you know? And guess what? He had to build up no tolerance and stuff. It was just cool. You know what I'm saying, right? It's just something, same bloodline and stuff, but different attributes. You know what I'm saying, right? So this says, for I am faint, therefore was his name called Edom, right? And what is Edom? It's the word Adam, the Adada Nama Adam, or Adawam, and it means red. And that's exactly stuff what they are. They claim themselves and stuff to be white. You know what I'm saying? But as you can see, my screen is white and stuff, but you never would find a person and stuff who's this color. You know what I'm saying? Just like they call us black and stuff. But even if you got a motherfucker that's a black as spade and whatnot and stuff, that nigga just dark brown. You know what I'm saying? Right? Dookie Brown and whatnot and stuff, right? Verse 31, it says, and Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. He was famished. And it says, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? See what he said about his own blessing, because he was the firstborn, right? It says, verse 33, it says, and Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. It says, then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage and of lentils, meat, not beans. It says, and he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Salakia. I'm pause and stuff so I can skim through it. All right, I'm gonna try to just read through it. So as it says, Jacob's deception, right? Which really it was a deceiver yet true situation. It says, and it came to pass. It says, no, it's like it. Scratch that. So this Genesis 27:1. It says, and it came to pass. And as you know, it says, and it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, meaning he was going blind, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison, and make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. Right? Because the firstborn is supposed to get it. Verse 5, it says, and Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, right? And venison is deer meat. And it says, and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I have heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, I am a smooth man. It says, my father peradventure will fill me, meaning perhaps. It says, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse. It says, my son, only obey my voice and go fetch me them. It says, and he went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. It says, and Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, it says, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. Look at that. Salaki. I was thinking about something else. And it says, and she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here am I. Who art thou, my son? It says, and it says, verse 19, it says, and Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, thy power, it's like it. Because the Lord Yahweh, thy thy power brought it to me. Cause like it, cause Isaac and stuff is he's Yahweh Shai. proving reincarnation. And if you don't believe me and stuff, read Matthew's the first chapter, the first verse. Verse 21, it says, And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. So he was suspicious. Verse 22, it says, And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. It says, And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him, right? Supplant. It says, And he said, Art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Right. So for all you people and stuff who thinking that drinking liquor is wrong and whatnot, as you can see, right? Verse 26, it says, And his father Isaac, and actually you can go to Proverbs, the 30th chapter. You know what I'm saying? It will cut your ass right then and there, because drinking liquor is not a sin. Just don't drink it too much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's it's a health situation and stuff, and at the same time and stuff, it'll empty out your pockets. Right? Verse 26. It says, And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. Now they wouldn't bust his slob, you know what I'm saying, like a sex scene in a movie. You know what I'm saying, right? Kiss on the cheek and whatnot and stuff, right? It says, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. It says, Therefore the Most High giveth thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and the plenty of the corn and the wine. It says, Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's son bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that cursed thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. Right? So with that being the case and whatnot and stuff, we could clearly see and stuff uh, uh, um, why Esau, Edom, and whatnot and stuff is jealous of the entire nation of Israel. Right? So now you see verse 30, it says stolen blessing. But actually, the same time and stuff, it was already ordained. Esau and stuff, what he do? He traded his birthright, which was the blessing and stuff in verse 28 and 29, right? He gave that up for some raw meat that wasn't done yet. Right? So it's a fair trade. And it says, verse 30, it says, And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. It says, And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? It says, Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And AMP it says, shall remain blessed. Verse 34, it says, And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety to help his mom. It says, And have taken away thy blessing. It says, And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? And the word Jacob in Hebrew and stuff is Yaiquab. It's the Yah, the I, the Qua, and the Ba. Yaiquab. You know what I'm saying? Some people might say Yaiquab. You know what I'm saying? To each his own. Tomato, tomato. You know what I'm saying? Right? But it means Yah meaning he. Iquab means supplants. Supplant means to draw out. As you can see in the AMP, it says the supplanter. Really, it means he supplants. Right? In other words and stuff, what you all of this world and stuff, if you don't know what a supplant is and stuff, right, it's similar and stuff to a finesse. But the one thing the one thing about us, the reason why supplanting the finesse is different is that when you finesse somebody and stuff, one person gets something and the other person's stuff is high and dry. It's unfair. There's no balance to it. But when it comes down to a supplant, as you can see, you know what I'm saying, both individuals and stuff get what they want, right? So this Genesis 27 and 36, it says, and he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these two times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he had taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. It says, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, like it says in Hebrews 12 and 17. It says, verse 39, it says, and Isaac, his father, also, the reason why I made mention and stuff of that Hebrews 12 and 17 is because you got individuals, you got Israelites, you know what I'm saying, no matter how you look, no matter what their status is, they young or old, whatever, right? The thing is that you got Israelites that only believe in the Old Testament, and you got Israelites that only believe in the New Testament, you know what I'm saying? And that shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? They go hand in hand and stuff. That's why you can find various things in the Old and New Testament and stuff that speak about relatable things and stuff, you know. So this is Genesis 27 and 39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. It says, and of the dew of heaven from above. It says, and by thy sword shall thy live, thou live. It says, and shall serve thy brother. Right. So what's the sword? Technology. It's not just guns. You know what I'm saying? The modern day sword is a gun, a pistol, a rocket launcher and shit, right? But then also it's his technology, right? So it says verse 40 again. No, verse 39, it says, and Isaac, his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, right? So here it is and stuff, all of earth, you know what I'm saying, is all of earth right now and stuff is Esau's blessing. You know what I'm saying, right? Right? And and the dew of the heaven from above. So that's out in the outer skies, the different hemispheres, and also outer space. That their machines can go past the Van Allen belt and stuff, but the human body and stuff can't. You know what I'm saying? So not only is it a blessing, it's also a prison for him, right? And it says, verse 40, it says, and by the sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. It says, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that's talking about the Renaissance, right? Verse 41, it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Bro, remember, it was an equal exchange. It says, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. Right? So I'm going to grab this. This is Ezekiel 35. I'll go straight to the point. Ezekiel 35, verse 5. It said, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the it's like, let me go to verse 1. This verse 2. It says, Ezekiel 35 and 2, it says, son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And as you can see in AMP, it says Edom. Just like how Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, Mount Seir and stuff is a people before it's a place. And when it comes down to a mountain, you know what I'm saying, it's something that's supposed to be sturdy and stuff or considered strong. You know what I'm saying, right? It is not Esau strong and stuff in his habitation, right? There's Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou has had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, the descendants, right? It says, in the time of their calamity, it says, in the time that their iniquity had an end. You know what I'm saying? Meaning when Jacob and stuff was on some First Peter's 4 and 1, when they got tired of getting their ass whooped and stuff from the Lord and got their ass in order, right? So you seeing stuff that they have a perpetual hatred, right? So this is Jeremiah. No, this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says, and I heard, it says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power, Yahbashim Yashai. It says, in the power of his anointed, you know what I'm saying, Hamashiach. It says, which is Yahushua. It says, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. And what is that? Is this. I'll come right back to it. Um this is Psalms. It's Psalms 50 and 16. Psalms 15 and 16, it says, but unto the wicked, right? And remembering stuff, and a lot of these scriptures and stuff, the Lord, except for scriptures that's specific, you know what I'm saying, right? But a lot of these scriptures go twofold, where it's not just talking about the other nations that are non-Israelites, you know what I'm saying? It's also talking about Israelites who are wicked. The only way for Israel to be wicked and stuff is to go outside the law, statute, commandments. You know what I'm saying, right? And a lot of our people and stuff rather follow Esau Edom. That's why it says in Hebrews 12 and 16, if there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, meaning you're not an Edomite, but the thing is that you're underneath his vibration. You know what I'm saying? You living like him. And what it says in Jeremiah 5 and 28, that they overpass the deeds of the wicked. The scripture says and stuff in the book of Matthew, I believe, it's in the gospel. It say that well, the four books, right? And it says that we are the salt of the earth. So what happens and stuff when you got an Israelite that got more salt and stuff than, it's variation stuff of salt when it come down to Israel anyways. But what happens when you have an Israelite that has salt, you know what I'm saying, versus another versus Esau Edom, right? And here it is and stuff. Well, I don't know, but because it's various things, right? But Esau Edom and stuff, and follows the very things that Esau Edom stuff does. Means that I guess well they wicked. So this is twofold, right? But this is Psalms 15 and 16, right? It says, but unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee? When thou sawest a thief, then thou consented with him, and has been partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. It says, thou slanderest thy own mother's son. Right. So it says, these things has thou done, and I kept silence. Though thou so like it, thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thy eyes. And that's exactly what's going on when it comes down to those and stuff who know this truth, right? Right. But anyways and stuff, right? When it comes down to it, right? Uh 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 you have uh 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 there, since Joel 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, you know what I'm saying, right? What do? They promote and stuff, their vibration, their ways and whatnot and stuff, which is contrary and stuff to the scriptures. It tells you that in Second Thessalonians and stuff, how Esau and stuff wants to be God and whatnot and stuff. So therefore, within his kingdom, you know what I'm saying, he made himself look like a God, and majority of our people are following him because he is the one in power, you know, right? Right? They don't use the world, they abuse it. You see, right? So, well, how they accusing stuff of thy brother and whatnot and stuff. They pray in the Hebrew, but they more on to the left hand side and stuff. And what do? The Bohemian Grove, you know what I'm saying? The secret society, the skull and bones and whatnot, and so on and so forth. Right? You know what they do? They do they'll complain to the Heavenly Father and stuff, be like, well, Lord, look what they doing. And really what it is they want the birthright. It was another what was it? It was another what's it called? It was another conference, You know what I'm saying, between this man and this woman and stuff, right? And the female was speaking and stuff to the male and stuff, and the guy and stuff, he's sitting up here shaking his head and stuff, saying, "Yeah, you right and stuff." You know what I'm saying? You want to get the because the female asking, it's like you're based off what you're doing and stuff. It was a small clip that the brothers shared and stuff. They want the blessing back. So all the chemtrails, all the GMO foods and whatnot and stuff, which is it's something else that I want to speak on. But anyways, I'll do that for another sit down, Lord willing. Right? Yeah, but Shema Sharatazah. So here it is. Here it is, the GMO foods and whatnot and stuff, the very concrete, like when it come down to majority of the curses and whatnot, when you read that from Deuteronomy 28, verse 15 through 68 and whatnot, look at the very person that the Lord had used and stuff just so he can bring those afflictions. This is Psalms 17 and 13. And it says, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." And who was blessed with the sword? Esau, Edom. And I'm gonna get this in Psalms 55 and 21. And it says, verse 20, verse 19. Verse 18, it says, "He had delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me." It said, "For there were many with me. The Most High shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old." Salah, which means to pause, right? It says, "Because they have no changes, therefore they fear not the Most High." It says, "He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart." It says, his words were softer than oil, but yet they drawn swords, right? And what was that and stuff? To secretly come against the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying, right? This is Psalms 83, and they weren't alone. You have other nations too. The Lord created 18 nations and created one nation and stuff to be unto themselves, even though that one nation and stuff looked like the rest of those 17 nations as well, called confusion of face. You know what I'm saying? Speckled bird goes into the complexion, right? So this Psalms 83 and verse 1, it says, "For lo, thy enemies for lo, thy enemies make a tumult." It says, "And they that hate thee have," it says, "and they that hate thee lifted up the head." It says, "They have taken crafty counsel against thy people." And don't get it wrong and stuff. Esau will use our own people and stuff against us. So when it come down to and stuff, you had that old saying called to kill two birds with one stone. Here it is and stuff. They orchestrate and stuff. A lot of what is that? That's Psalm 71. Bear with me. I'm gonna come back to it. It's Psalms Psalms 10 and 2. It says, Psalms 10 and 2, it says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor," who are the poor, the Israelites, right? We are the captives. Even if you hire up that, you could be a 33-degree Mason and stuff and be Jake. And the thing is that you're still a captive, right? It says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." And what did Esau set up? He set up other Israelites to oppress other Israelites and whatnot and stuff, right? And the thing is that the scripture says, "Thou shalt not hate thy brother and stuff in thy heart." You know what I'm saying, right? But that's what oppression brews. You know what I'm saying, right? It says, Ecclesiastes 7 and 7, it says, "Surely oppression makes a wise man mad," right? It says, Psalms 10 and 2, it says, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." Right? So the very things that Esau, Edom, wicked ass Israelites and stuff are thinking about to do unto us, and their different plots and plans will fall upon them. Verse 3, it says, "For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesses the covetous." Right? It says, "Whom the Lord abhorreth." The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, would not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above, out of his sight. As for all his enemies, it says he puffeth at them. It says he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Right? That Revelations 12 and 10. Accuser of thy brethren. It says, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. It says, his eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net, talking about their different traps. It says, he croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. It says, he have said in his heart, the Most High have forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Right? It says, verse 11 says, he have said in his heart, the Most High forgotten. Yeah, so pretty much the stuff, verse 10, right? That was the end of that and stuff, right? So going back to the Psalms 83 and 2, it said, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And who are the hidden ones? Israel. And guess what? Israel is also hidden amongst Moab, amongst Ammon, amongst Assyrians and Syrians. You know, amongst any type of Asian, any East Indian and stuff, Pakistani, Philistine and stuff, you know, amongst the Hamites and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, even though a lot of they action and stuff is cool and whatnot, but it do sound like and stuff they always in an argument when they say regular ass words. But anyways, you know, and Iskall likes to sing. But anyways, this is Psalms 83, and uh this Psalms 83 and verse 4, it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. How did they do that and stuff? They had to re-educate us and stuff with a new philosophy and stuff outside what the scriptures are saying. And guess what? That's where you get your Christianity, because they know that we have the zeal, but not according to knowledge. You know what I'm saying, right? Oh, well, we do, the ones who's teaching now. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge shall increase, right? The Lord said that you shall be increasing thy last end in Sirach, the second chapter, right? But before and stuff, it will be Christianity, it will be Catholicism, it will be Pentecostal, Presbyterian, you know, the very different denominations and stuff when it comes down to what the Bible uses. So, Salakia. All right, so as you can see, you know what I'm saying, you know, you see that there's Caucasians and stuff who created these different religions, right? And remember, the scripture says that the truth shall set you free. Religion goes into the Latin word religio, which means to bind, you know what I'm saying, you know, to chain you down. And what's that chaining you down and stuff? Causing you to believe in something that's false. You know what I'm saying? You know, the scriptures talk about how they teach the precepts of men, you know what I'm saying, right? But remember, the scripture says in Romans, the third chapter, it says, let every man, let the Lord be true and every man a liar, right? So as you can see, you know, it says John Smith created the Baptist religion in 1608. Charles Parham created Pentecostal religion in 1901. Joseph Smith created the Mormon religion in 1830. It says Charles Taze Russell created the Jehovah Witness religion in 1872. William Miller created created the Seventh Day Adventist religion in 1863, and then you also have Jean Francios uh, Campolian founded Edentology in 1822 to 1824. Right? False religions. These are man's wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Right? That uses the Bible and stuff, but they put a twist to it. And the scripture says if you add onto these scriptures, the Lord will add all the different plagues and stuff that's not found in the book. Right? So bear with me. Right? So, you know, just you know, and the various different other denominations and whatnot and stuff, you know, which there are hundreds of them that come with the Bible and stuff, is not what the truth. It's not what the Bible actually says. You know what I'm saying? Right? And when it comes down to that man wisdom with those different philosophies, even though they use the Bible and stuff, right? The thing is that it's a picking and choosing, it's a cherry picking and whatnot and stuff, and also it's a um um what the scripture says in the book of Corinthians. It says that if this gospel be of man, it will come to naught. You know what I'm saying? And it is, because a lot of those man-made religions and whatnot and stuff are really things and stuff that provides satisfaction and stuff onto the flesh. It's not the truth. you know so the Psalms 83 and 5 again, it says, "For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, which are Arabians, the Moabites, which are Chinese, the Hagarenes, which are the Ishmaelites as well." It says Cabal, I got to check again. It says Ammon, those are the Japanese. It says Amalek, which are the JOO issues. You know what I'm saying? They like to what they say, Yehudi, right? You know what I'm saying, right? It says, they wanna be Judah, which guess what? A lot of the individuals and stuff who got the weird outfit and whatnot and stuff, and big ass hats. You know what I'm saying? Probably one of the reasons though why they bald. You know what I'm saying? How they were mitzvahs and stuff at 13. The only reason why I know and stuff is The Simpsons from Krusty the Clown. Uh, 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 you know, the long sideburns and whatnot and stuff. Lord, it's like it. No, because it's funny as hell and stuff, because they force their sons and stuff to they cut they cause their sons and stuff to be forehead bald. Some of them, you know what I'm saying, to wear them fucking hats and stuff, and it's just funny as hell. And they wear all black and whatnot and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because guess what? They're about death. You know what I'm saying? Not mystery, death. But anyways, it says the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, Ashur, which is the Assyrians. It says also is joined with them. It says they have hope in the children of Lot. You know what I'm saying? The children of Lot and stuff are the Moabites and the Ammonites. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right? So, just for, a few things and whatnot and stuff. So they confederate. All those 17 nations that are non-Israelites and stuff confederate themselves, meaning they teamed up and whatnot, just to take the nation of Israel out of commission, meaning turning them and stuff into the undead. You know what I'm saying? Meaning they alive and whatnot and stuff, but yet they're dead inside. Why? Because they adopted a different heritage that's not theirs, right? So this is Judith in the fifth chapter, Judith the fifth chapter in the Apocrypha, starting at verse 17. It says, "And while as they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because Yahweh Shem Yahshai that hateth iniquity, sin upon sin, was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore." We saw that and stuff when it came down to Joseph. No, we saw that when it came down to Joshua, that city and stuff that they had to circle around for 7 days, right? And the Lord told Joshua and stuff to tell the rest of the congregation, don't take anything, right? And you had that one individual and stuff. It's like, well, shit, if we leave in Egypt, we get to Jerusalem and stuff, I'm gonna be rich. You know what I'm saying? Like society crashed down, niggas get to looting and whatnot and stuff. And as soon as society run back up, it's like, look, I got everything for free and stuff. I ain't have to pay for shit. You know what I'm saying, right? Right? Niggas gonna be niggas, right? And what happened and stuff? They was winning against 37 kings and whatnot and stuff that came to fight. You know what I'm saying? Some Hamites tried to sit up here and supplant and whatnot and stuff, and it was like, nah, you ain't getting over on us, right? And here it is and stuff. They started to lose various battles and whatnot, and the Lord had told Joshua that you got evil amongst the congregation. You know what I'm saying, right? And the thing is that it was an individual who was trying to take the Babylonian, I think it's Babylonian, you know what I'm saying? Well, Babylonian stuff, gold and silver and stuff, and he also took a garment, You know what I'm saying? He was like, leave all that shit there and whatnot and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just walk through so you can get to the promised land, right? And since he gathered it and whatnot and stuff, that's when all Israel and stuff started to lose its battles. And this is also why you should be very grateful that you don't have to wait on 2/3, because 2/3 is the majority of our nation found in North America, but there's also undesirables and stuff in other parts of the earth. And with that being the case, you should be very, very happy and stuff when Apostle Paul said in Philippians 2:12, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You know what I'm saying? Because wouldn't it be fucked up for the fact that somebody and stuff cares for this world and whatnot and stuff, cares for the affairs of this life, and they can't leave that shit alone and stuff to repent and return to the Lord and stuff, that everybody and stuff get fucking nuked because one person and stuff won't change? You should be fucking happy. It's also showing and stuff that even in the Isaiah 4:1, a lot of you women and stuff need to be obedient according to the scriptures and stuff, and onto your husbands and stuff that you with. Because other than that and stuff, just because you have sex with him and stuff and you joined onto him, become one unit, doesn't mean and stuff that you gonna make it automatically because you had sex or had a baby by him. I mean, you got to do your portion too. Meaning you got to change as well, right? Remember in Genesis 1 and 28, I know 27, it says male and female created he them. And what it said before that in the verse before, let's create man in our image, right? So guess what? You still got to follow according to the Lord. If you don't want to do that and stuff, then guess what? Enjoy your life like we tell everybody else. Enjoy your life and whatnot and stuff, because you're going to get destroyed. And ain't gonna be no last minute stuff. You see your Howard Shy return and whatnot and stuff, and you in the midst of stuff getting cracked by somebody's best friend and stuff, and you cheating on your husband and stuff, and you pray and quote John 3:16, that ain't gonna save you. You should do works and whatnot and stuff towards salvation. You know what I'm saying? Especially with this Maha and Maba coming through and whatnot and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because it shows that, guess what? The hour of temptation and stuff, it's already been here, you know, but the hour of temptation, where they make it mandatory and stuff, is well on its way, right? So get your ass in order. You know what I'm saying? All you females and stuff, oh, I don't do that. I don't put my mouth on that and stuff. You the last. I will be the last motherfucker you put your mouth on. And I'm not saying for myself. I'm talking about for other guys too who believe in this truth and stuff, who seeking this stuff to be the first fruits of Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Which, guess what? The first fruits are the elect number. You know what I'm saying? The innumerable multitude, right? It's not the first fruit. Not all the first fruits and stuff are going to be individual stuff who get slain for the truth's sake, right? But it's Judas 5:18 in the Apocrypha. It says, "But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed." And for all the individuals and stuff, it's like there's some females and stuff. It's like all you want is head and whatnot and stuff. Last I remember and stuff, you all got two pairs of lips, one at the top and one at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Fuck is you talking about? Anyways, this is with secretion coming from both of them, so I don't know what you tripping about. Judith 5:18, it says, "But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into the land that were not theirs, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies." No matter where you are, according to Deuteronomy 28 and 64 and stuff, Israel's been scattered to the four corners of the earth and whatnot. And guess what? You are ruled by the Gentiles. You know what I'm saying, right? And that Gentiles is ruled by the Gentiles when it come down to the full-blown spirited heathens. But then at the same time and stuff, you got Israelites and stuff in high positions, you know what I'm saying, and they're also mimicking the ways of the heathens, you know what I'm saying, where the heritage of Yasharala and stuff is something that they prefer not to follow, right? Verse 19, it says, "But now are they returned to their power and are come up from the places where they were scattered." It says, "And have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them." Right? And what's another way and stuff for them to go against their power? You know what I'm saying? It's the fact that they in several different other religions. It don't even have to be in stuff when it come down to the Bible. It could be Islam, it could be Buddhism, it could be shamanism, it could be atheism, it could be Satanism, it could be Gothic, it could be uh um and various others and whatnot and stuff, right? Right? So, if it ain't of the truth and whatnot and stuff, they're gonna be slain. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got various things and stuff that mimic and stuff what the Bible says according to Isaiah, uh uh there's Isaiah 34:16, and it says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, and read. No one of these shall fail, meaning the prophecies, you know what I'm saying, or the wisdom. It says, none shall want her mate, meaning that ain't nobody gonna be on the same side, on the same level and stuff. It's in a class of its own, the Bible. It said, for my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them. And that's exactly and stuff what happened. Sudden Southern Kingdom and stuff were the first ones to receive the word and whatnot and stuff. And then guess what? That's brought up Northern Kingdom. And even till this day, the two sticks are together. You know what I'm saying? Right. And Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom and stuff, those are the hopeful elect and stuff. Guess what? They're the ones and stuff who's literally breaking the curse. You know what I'm saying? Because remember and stuff, the Lord is not an art of confusion, as it says in 1 Corinthians 14:33. You know what I'm saying? He says in and you go to verse 40, 1 Corinthians 14:40, it says, let everything be done decently in order. So here it is and stuff, right? And then we got to be wise as serpent and harmless as dove. You know what I'm saying? All that bloodshed and stuff that come with commandments, we can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah 33:6, it says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength and salvation. He that fear the Lord is his treasure, right? And what you got to do, you got to try to be harmless. You got to try to be blameless. You know what I'm saying? When you're born again, being a new convert, when it come down to the scriptures, you know what I'm saying, right? Or when it come down to you being born again. And that born again, it's not sliding in some coochie and trying to come back out again. You know what I'm saying? That born again and stuff, it's not being dumped in the water and whatnot and stuff, right? Right? The true baptism and stuff is this word, understanding it. You know what I'm saying? Turn yourself into a new creature, as it says in Romans 12:2. It says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what's being born again, right? That's when you become a new creature. You went from paganism and stuff to Godship, right? And you got to maintain that Godship, right? So it's back in Revelations 12:10. It says, and I heard the loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength. It says, in the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. You know what I'm saying? Because Christ is Greek for anointed, but it's HaMashiach. You know what I'm saying? Ha meaning the, Mashiach, anointed. And what does anointed mean? Chosen, chosen, right? Right? So I'm going to grab this right quick. This is Romans 13 and 11. I'm gonna start at verse 10. And it says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. What's the second greatest commandment? Love thy neighbor as thyself. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get fucked with, don't fuck with nobody. You don't want nobody being on bullshit, don't be on no bullshit with nobody. You don't want nobody to hurt you, don't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? We was living underneath the ways of the heathen and stuff. So guess what? Demon time and stuff looks like it's legit. Now the Lord is asking you, no, the Lord is requiring stuff. Come into angel time. Why? Because his yoke is light and his laws are not grievous. Verse 11, it says, and that knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed, right? So this is back in Revelations 12, and I'm going to go straight to the point. It says, for the acute, well, the certain point, right? It said, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. So going back to that Psalms, the 10th chapter and stuff, all those different things that he try to all those different nets and whatnot and stuff, right? Those very nets and stuff is to follow after his vibration, so he can sit up here and complain to the Lord and whatnot and be like, look what they doing. But the eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, even their secret parts, meaning their thoughts. And the thing is, it's like, you see how stupid that is? that here it is, you will set Israelites and stuff to go off and whatnot. You don't even follow the law, statute, commandments and stuff. You created your society and stuff to be contrary to the scriptures, but you over here trying to point out and stuff that look, Israel is going off, and you the one and stuff who convinced them, entice them and stuff to go after the heathens. You know what I'm saying? To follow the heathenistic way. A while back and stuff, years ago, my OG and stuff would tell me and stuff that a while back that pork would be the only thing and stuff that would be cheap. And the only reason why pork was cheap and whatnot and stuff, because it's still a fucking animal. The only reason why pork is cheap is because it was unlawful and stuff to eat that. You know what I'm saying, right? So imagine stuff. It's like, Lord, they eating pork and whatnot and stuff, and it's like, well, you made it and stuff where you made shit and stuff. You made things expensive. You know what I'm saying? And when it come down to various other things, stuff that they gotta throw, put the scriptures do saying stuff that we put our money and stuff in bags full of holes. So here it is and stuff. They got to pay for this, that, and third. Worry about this. Try to have like some little money and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Whether they got a bank or not and stuff to the side just in case some sort of emergency and whatnot and stuff. And that's barely. You know what I'm saying? The trouble we get in, right? But then at the same time and stuff, when it comes down to the various foods and whatnot and stuff, you price them up where they have no choice but to get pork. Or to get any other type of food and whatnot and stuff that's unlawful to the scriptures, and you all know that and stuff, and you complaining to me. You know what it is? It's almost like no, that's not the same. So I'm gonna skip the verse I'm gonna read verse 11. It says, and they overcame him by the blood of the lamb, and that's talking about the elect, the 144,000, which consists of 12,000 men, the 12 tribes of Israel, the government body. The 1/3, which consists of men, women, and children who are Israelites who believe no matter how they look, who convert and keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability, mingle with faith, repenting every day, and not cherry picking what they want to repent on, and repenting on a timely fashion on the Lord's time before it's too late. And then you got the innumerable multitude and stuff, which is really all of us, but outside of North America, you know what I'm saying? Written in the book of life, predestined from the beginning, right? They're the ones and stuff who are going to be covered. Well, all of Israel is covered by the Lamb, but the ones and stuff who's going to make it on the first go round, even if they do happen to be martyrs, the thing is that guess what? They're gonna be the ones first covered. You know what I'm saying? Because all of Israel, Romans 11:26 and stuff, all of Israel shall be saved, right? But all of Israel ain't gonna get saved on the first go round. Majority of the nation is going to be destroyed at the death by pain, and then they're going to be born through the new progenitors, the elect, men, women, and children. It says, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death, right? And we don't. You know what I'm saying? And it says, verse 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, right? And we are of the heavens and whatnot and stuff because we are on a higher vibration. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. And even though we do live on the earth, you know what I'm saying? We go to the beach and shit and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Set sail at sea and stuff for those who got boats and whatnot and stuff, right? The thing is that it's talking about those in the lower vibration, those who want to be heathens, those who want to act like the heathens, right? It said, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time, right? This is Jeremiah 30:7. And it says, alas, for that day is great, so that is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And we want to be part of the elect. This is Daniel's 12:1, right? And it's going to be all over the earth. So everybody and stuff who want to be a passport bro or a passport sister and whatnot and stuff, guess what? All these other countries and stuff, they're going to also develop their own mark of the beast. So our temptation and stuff is going to be all across earth. There's no safe haven and whatnot. The only safe haven is the pavilion of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and stuff. And pavilion means hut. You know what I'm saying? We want to be the chicks and stuff underneath the mother hen's wings and whatnot. And who is that? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Salakia. Right? So in the spirit. Right? So there's Daniel's 12:1. Right? It says the time of the end. And we are in the last days. We're at the end of the last days. When Yahushua was born, that was the beginning of the last days, right? We're at the end of the last days, right? It's Daniel's 12:1. It says, and at that time shall Michael, the archangel, stand up, that great prince, which stand before the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. So well, I think apocalypto, you know what I'm saying? It goes into a less technology and whatnot and stuff, right? Watch that, you know what I'm saying? You got I Am Legend, Book of Eli, The Road, you know, shoot, what the fuck? You got Charter Walker, it's an anime, I think it's called. Yeah, Charter Walker. Walker, right? Charter Walker is how you say it. That's one. Uh, uh, um, um, damn. Um, um, but anyways, you know, and there's several different ones and whatnot and stuff. I just, they not come to mind, right? Which I might actually revisit that. Oh shit, the King's Game, Darwin's Game, you know. Just to show you stuff how chaotic it's gonna be and stuff, right? It's another one though. It's another one. It's called something invasion, and you got these motherfuckers with masks, and they the I did a video on it in the past and stuff because it would be regular people turn into killing machines and stuff because they had that mask on, and that mask and stuff brainwashed them. You know what I'm saying, right? Right, and they was killing each other, and but if that mask got cracked or something and stuff, it's like they have control over their body again. You know, it's other things too, man. High School of the Dead and stuff. The fan animation gonna be in there though for sure. High School of the Dead and stuff is gonna be right and stuff because that it goes into cannibalism. A zombie is a person who lacks faith and stuff, who's ready to eat anything stuff that they see. And I really believe through the spirit and stuff it's gonna trickle down. You know what I'm saying? People who lose because you're gonna have to have faith in that time too and stuff where, we're gonna be as pilgrims walking the earth, right? But at the same time, if you don't get apprehended. But the thing is that what's gonna happen is that you might see a lot of unlawful animals and whatnot and stuff, right? And guess what? You can't eat them shits. If you see a animal kill another animal and whatnot and stuff and get his feel, and you wait for it to walk off, and that animal is unlawful, or say if it is a lawful animal and stuff, right? Guess what? Since a beast already got to it before you, you can't eat that either. So therefore, your faith is also going to be tested. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna show your faith by your works and whatnot and stuff, well, you having faith in Yahweh Shem Yahshai and your confidence, you know what that means? That means the stuff that you will have to still have faith and stuff within his commandments. And guess what? Part of the commandments is that you can't eat meat torn away and stuff by a beast. You know what I'm saying? You can probably you can fuck around and eat after another human and whatnot and stuff. But if an animal and stuff shreds some shit and stuff, and you come over there try to cook it and clean it off and whatnot and stuff, guess what? You'll be going off, right? And I think people gonna trickle down and whatnot, and then eventually down the line and stuff, it's gonna be some, it's gonna be a female and stuff thinking that she about to get ravished and stuff, about to get dick down and whatnot and stuff, and that nigga ain't trying to put his dick in you, he trying to eat your ass for real. You know what I'm saying? So all you plump women and whatnot that's out there and stuff, most of these niggas love the fat, which you ain't supposed to eat that either. But they love the fat and whatnot and stuff. And guess what? They gonna eat. We see it in Tom and Jerry. We see it in ACME. We see it in Looney Tunes and whatnot and stuff, and various other cartoons where they apprehend you and stuff, and they throw you in a pot, and you think you get in the jacuzzi and shit until they start chopping up carrots and green onions and tomatoes and stuff and whatnot and stuff. And by the time you recognize and stuff, they ready to cook you, right? So Daniel's 12:1, it says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be in a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And we want to be written in the book, right? The book of life, right? As you can see in the AAP, it says the book of life found, it says everyone who is found written in the book of life will be rescued. This is verse 2 in the KJV to the left. It says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. You know what I'm saying? It's twofold. There are going to be people and stuff who rise from the dead and stuff. People that should have been passed away, it's been gone in the spiritual realm, right? You also have it also, that dust goes into confusion and whatnot, and that's the different philosophies and stuff, right? Guess what? We all woken up. I used to be an individual who believed in Christianity. I believe in the truth now. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? I woke up out of sleep. Romans 13:11. It's high time to wake up out of sleep. What is that? Following things and stuff that's not gonna cause you and stuff to put on as the elect, as it says in Colossians 3:12. Right? Okay, that ain't too bad. And it says uh it's no, it's already that one 20 minutes. All right, so it says some to everlasting life, it says some to shame and everlasting contempt. So guess what? You're gonna have Israelites who get brought into this truth where they walk past it or they come across a prophet and stuff, according to Songs of Solomon, the third chapter 1 through 3. You know what I'm saying? You know, you either gonna walk past the men of the Lord and stuff, or come around the men of the Lord, or the men of the Lord and stuff gonna walk are gonna come around you. You know what I'm saying? However way and stuff it is. You know what I'm saying? And then when I say come around you, I'm talking about it's gonna be a place where they're teaching on the highways and byways in this season, out of season, all manner of weather. You know what I'm saying? Or guess what? You could be going through social media and stuff and come across uh um and come across uh, um, and come across one of the men of the Lord. You might walk past and whatnot and stuff. We go in the chief place of concourse and stuff, right? And we already know that there's Israelites and stuff that look like other nations and whatnot. And I want to bring this out and stuff because I seen it in my feed and stuff when it come down to Elder Nata Zakba. Somebody had that said and stuff, y'all scared to come to the hood and whatnot and stuff, right? And it's like, you know what's crazy? Even though, you know, I'm gonna take their word for it. You know what I'm saying? You know, well, the hood and stuff is any fucking neighborhood. And guess what? Just because you brown skin don't mean that you the only Israelite and stuff that exists. You know what I'm saying? Right. So guess what? We are in the hood. We're teaching in the hood. Even if it's sophisticated areas and stuff, that's still the hood. Because what's the real word for hood? Neighborhood. And there's plenty of those. So we are in the hood. We ain't scared to go in the hood. We are in the hood. No matter where we go, that's the hood. So this is right, right. Right. So, so the thing is that, you want to come across this truth and whatnot and stuff in your favor so you can put on Ask the Elect. And what we're going to tell you, we're going to tell you and stuff to put off the weaker. Let me grab that. This is second address. It's like I ain't trying to go that far. I'm trying to speak fast, but I stutter and shit. Can't pronounce certain words like that. Be battling my thoughts and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because Satan be interrupting and whatnot. So this second Ezra chapter 14, verse 13, it says in the Apocrypha, it says, now therefore set thine house in order. You know what I'm saying? Referring to yourself. And if you got believers that believe what you say and stuff, and a man's house and stuff is him, his wife, and his children. You know what I'm saying? Right? And guess what? We are of houses ourselves and stuff when it come down to the fathers that begat us and stuff, and and the women and stuff that get and the mothers and stuff that gave birth to us. Right? Uh uh but if if you develop your own house and stuff, you will be the husband. You'll have your girl that'll be your wife and whatnot and stuff. Why, if you all have children or not, that will be your house. So it says set in order. You see what Noah did? He set his house in order, right? And everybody else and stuff, they weren't in order. So it says, now therefore set thy house in order and reprove thy people, right? Reprove means correct. You know what I'm saying? Some people we got to rebuke sharply, some people we don't. It says, comfort such as them as being troubled. Now renounce corruption, and that's what the Lord wants us to do. It says, let in its requirement stuff, according to Deuteronomy chapter 10, verses 12 to 13, right? It says, I believe 14 and 2 is, no, yeah, right? According to Deuteronomy 7 and 6 and Deuteronomy 14 and 2 is verse 14. It says, let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. And what's the weak nature? The ways that the heathens cause us to mimic after them. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater, and what's that, flee from this time? It's not talking about going to another country. It's talking about flee from flee from the way, flee from the way and whatnot and stuff that will cause the Heavenly Father to not put a hedge upon you, right? It says, verse 16. Now, bad things and stuff will still happen and stuff. Don't get me wrong. All of Israel and stuff had fallen short of glory. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time and stuff, it's like, live according to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Right? And it says, verse 16, it said, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. It said, for the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand, right, which is lies, right? Jeremiah the 9th chapter, it says, for now hasten the vision to come which thou hast seen, right? And the thing is that, there's nothing new underneath the sun, right? This is Esdras, which is also Ezra. And the thing is that you had the archangel Uriel, you know what I'm saying, telling Ezra and stuff, the things that's finna come. And that's why um this second Ezra 16 and 17, it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? You know what I'm saying, right? It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, and that famine is finna be man-made. They finna swiper, no swiping. They finna swipe all the resources and stuff, and that's what's gonna cause a lot of home invasions. That's what's gonna cause civil unrest and whatnot and stuff, which gonna cause them to bring in medical martial law. You know what I'm saying, right? And I believe it's going to be medical martial law because they want to be able to do whatever the fuck it is that they want. And that's why they keep coming up with these different legislations and stuff about how militants and stuff going to be able to do this and do that. But then you also got the sleeper cells and stuff that they purposely brought in to America, right? It says the beginnings of wars and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Right? And what is it? I think it's Second Ezra 7. I think it is Second Ezra 7. But let me hurry up though. It's Second Ezra 7 and verse 20. Right? So the ass whooping that the Lord placed upon us and stuff is to get us to change. And I'm gonna get this in the Amplified Bible. Because this is what it means by flee from these times. This is First Peter chapter 4, verse 1 in the Amplified. It says, so since Yahweh Shah HaMashiach suffered in the flesh for us, for you arm yourselves with the same thought and purpose, patiently to suffer rather than fail to please Yahweh. Bashim Yashai, it says, for whoever have suffered in the flesh, having the mind of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, is done with intentional sin, right? Willful sin. It says, has stopped pleasing himself and the world and pleases the Most High. And don't get it twisted and stuff. The Lord don't have no problem with you getting you a little drink, a little R&R and whatnot and stuff, right? But we got to move like we're in Jerusalem and whatnot, because majority of our people, they not going to believe us. They going to think that we are the issue. They going to want to try to kill us, eradicate us and whatnot and stuff. And I said it in the past and stuff that guess what? A lot of our people, according to Galatians 2 and 4, they really think that they're saving us by coming back into the world. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't going to do shit. You know what I'm saying, right? This Second Ezra chapter 7 verse 20. It says, "For there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of the Most High that is set before them." Right. This is uh uh this First Peter chapter 4 verse 17, and it says uh uh this First Peter's 4. mm, So this First Peter chapter 4. Well, because this is something that might seem light to people. So this is First Peter's 4 and 9. It says, "Use hospitality one to another and stuff when it comes." You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, you gotta have the Holy Spirit upon you and stuff, right? We just not subject to hurt. You gotta have the Holy Spirit and stuff upon you, where it's like, you know that like what was it? It was the movie was no, the TV series and stuff. It was on Netflix. It was called Black Summer. And here it is. You had this old lady and stuff in one of those vans and stuff, the soccer mom van and stuff with the slide door. And here it is and stuff. A guy came up to her and stuff at the window. You know what I'm saying? She's doing her best not to run motherfuckers over. You know what I'm saying, right? And some guy and stuff come in and stuff. He over here talking about him and his children, woot the woo and whatnot and stuff. But he was the only one. He was saying they over there, woot the woo, And he asked and stuff to get in the car and whatnot and stuff. She scoot over in the passenger seat. That nigga getting behind the driver's side and whatnot and stuff, and told her ass to get the fuck out of her own car and whatnot. So you gonna have to know and stuff in these times. And guess what? As it said in Second Ezra 6:24, it says, "Friends shall fight against each other like enemies." And why is that? Because of the lack of bread, the lack of food. You could damn near have nothing and stuff in your crib and whatnot and stuff, right? But then somebody else is like, "No, man, didn't you go to the grocery store?" Woot the woo. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, but at the same time, we was only able to get a little bit and stuff because hyperinflation's out here. No, you lying. You just trying to hog everything to yourself and whatnot, and home invasions gonna come. And that's guess what? Home invasions are not just gonna be done by motherfuckers you don't know. It's also gonna be done by people and stuff that you do know. Cause why? Cause Amos 3 and 3, can two walk together lest they be agreed? Motherfuckers gonna be for themselves. Like I did a video and stuff. Spiritual senses tingling, the uprising of betrayal. Right? It says, "Use hospitality one to another without grudging." Right? And grudging, guess what? That can fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Right? The bishops and the elders, the apostles and stuff, they be like, "Don't have no art with a brother." Because if you do and whatnot and stuff, that's enough to get your ass casted away. And we ain't trying to be castaways. That's why a lot of you all got to sit up here and examine yourselves and stuff while you be in the faith. Right? This verse 10, First Peter 4 and 10. It says, "As every man have received a gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of the Most High." It says, "If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of the Most High. If any man minister," right, which a lot of you all, y'all ain't doing that and stuff unless you ministering onto your children. As it says in Deuteronomy 6 chapter, it says, let him do it as of the ability which the Most High giveth, that the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yashai, in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. And for all the ones and stuff, it's like, well, why do you be saying Yahweh Bashem Yashai and stuff, and then you got Yahweh Shah HaMashiach and stuff later down the line and stuff? Why? Because everything and stuff is done through Yahweh Shah, right? Verse 12, it says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you." Right? Why is this happening to me? Guess what? You ain't the only one, nigga. Right? So verse 13, it says, "But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Yahweh Shai's suffering." It says that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached for the name of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and the power rested upon you. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified. And remember, the scripture says that the truth shall be evil spoken of. And guess what? Part of that evil spoken of is his men that he chose, a great millstone, men of valor and stuff. And Luke 9 and 49, right? If it be the 100-fold, 60-fold, 30-fold, meaning the different level of understanding, right? And it says, verse 15, it said, but let none of you suffer as a murderer or a thief or as an evildoer, as a busybody in other men's matters, right? So when it comes down to those listings, if you done it, do it no more, right? You have for all the individual stuff, can we kill in Jacob's trouble and whatnot and stuff? Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability at the times and strength for salvation, right? And then it also says in Wisdom Solomon, the 7th chapter and stuff, that when it come down to wisdom, that it's not subject to hurt. So no, you ain't supposed to be sitting up here trying to kill, you know what I'm saying? But, shit, spiritual powers and whatnot, it's going to be a self-defense, you know what I'm saying? I don't know and stuff what will happen, but it's going to be great bloodshed. You want to be underneath that Psalms 91 where everybody else die and you don't, you know what I'm saying? Who don't believe in the Lord, right? And it says, so there ain't gonna be no killing and whatnot and stuff. Woo the woo. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be Jacob's trouble gonna be self-defense. And remember when it came out of Jacob and whatnot, did he whoop his brother ass? No, he didn't. He ran away. For anybody and stuff that want to for anybody and stuff that want to be like, oh, you're a coward and stuff. That's not cowardice and stuff. That's using wisdom. Like it says, matter of fact, let me grab it just right quick. Subject to hurt. That's not subject to hurt. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 22. It says, for wisdom, which is the work of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt. It says, loving the thing that is good, quick, meaning alive, which cannot be letted, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits. It said, for wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passes and goeth through all things by the reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, Yahweh, and a pure influence from flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. And the scriptures talk about how the Lord ain't dealing and stuff with bloody men, right? You don't want to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Right? So this is Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 4 said, for into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin. And the scripture says, thou shalt not murder. But guess what? You're gonna have individuals out there and stuff, right? But guess what? You swindle them. You know what I'm saying, right? You get out that jam, right? So just going back to 1 Peter chapter 4, shit. This 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 15 again, it says, but let none of you suffer as a murderer or as a thief or as an evildoer or as a busybody in other men's matters. You believe in Yahweh Shem Yahshua, Psalms 34 and 7. You know what I'm saying? The angels are camping around them and stuff that fear the Lord. You know what I'm saying, right? So with that being the case and stuff, you more than likely and stuff wouldn't have to do anything like that. You'll get out that jam. More than likely it's gonna be some other nigga and stuff who own that, you know what I'm saying, who gonna come through and stuff and take that motherfucker out the way and whatnot and stuff. Take that motherfucker out the way and so probably trying to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get apprehended and stuff and be in a concentration camp. They intend to kill you. You know what I'm saying? And not all of us are going to get out that jam like he did when it come down to Apostle Peter and whatnot, put you in a trance and stuff, and now your ass outside. You know what I'm saying? And that's really and stuff because teaching had to keep going, right? The time of teaching and stuff is coming to an end because guess what? Part of these prophecies, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be famine of the word. And guess what? That's when wickedness going to come through and then the harshness going to come through. and then Esau gonna transform himself into an angel of light. You know, same way and stuff with Israelites and stuff according to First Maccabees 1:11. You know what I'm saying, through 13, and then who gonna be the mascot and stuff, influencers and stuff to promote other Israelites and stuff to take the mark of the beast. You know, and guess what? They gonna use your family. They're gonna, what about your children and stuff? They always do that. They go for the sensitive things and whatnot to convince you to do according to their will, right? But if you know the scriptures and whatnot and stuff, which a lot of people don't and stuff, and they're a lot of people don't and whatnot and stuff, they're going to be the ones who's going to be deceived, as it says in Revelations 13 and 14. Why? Because guess what? The Most High is not going to be in their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? You know, when it come down to holding on to Yahweh Shem Shai and measuring the times diligently and stuff, you know what I'm saying? You know, according to the times and stuff and the prophecies, most people and stuff don't give a fuck. But guess what? Most people who don't care be the main ones and stuff who care when they in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? A lot of us, they going to be like, yeah, you deserve to be locked away and whatnot and stuff. You deserve and whatnot and stuff. But then when you looking for a motherfucking stuff, you ain't going to be able to find them. Because what's going to be a man shall be more precious than fine gold and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right. In Isaiah 13 and 12, right? It's going to be a man of the Lord, somebody who knows this word, right? Right. So this 1 Peter 4 and 15, it says, but let none of you suffer as a murderer or a thief or as an evildoer or as a busybody in other men's matters, being nosy so goddamn much. Verse 16, it says, yet, and once again, it don't mean, you know, it meaning like you shouldn't be seeking this stuff to be one of these because the Lord's going to provide. You know what I'm saying? You know, right? Right? It said, verse 16, it said, yet if any man suffer as a Christian, and what is a Christian? A follower after the Messiah. It says, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify the Most High, Yahweh, on this behalf. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh. It says, and if it first began at us, those who know this word, right? What shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? Second Ezra 9th chapter said, don't worry about how the ungodly and stuff shall die, but be more worried about how the righteous and stuff shall be saved. In verse 18, it says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Right? So when it come down to himself, a lot of these people, they're going to be fucking through. They're going to fall for the okie doke. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're going to, Ecclesiastes 7:7, you know, not the first part I'm finna say. Surely oppression makes a wise man mad. Not that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but the gift destroyed the heart. And what is that gift? The mark of the beast. This Revelation chapter 13. And it's still gonna be part of Jacob's trouble, because Jacob's trouble ain't gonna end until Yahweh shall return. This Revelations 13 and 14. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, right? Which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. The beast is the system, society, right? What are those miracles? Things and stuff that they figured with technology and stuff. No, things that people and stuff who might have complications or different interests and stuff. Well, guess what? You get to break that barrier and stuff where you'll be able to do supernatural things. You know what I'm saying? You know, what's that movie with Vin Diesel and stuff where he had the nanites in his body? No matter how many times that nigga died and whatnot, he'll get brought back to life. You know what I'm saying? For people who want immortality, they gonna go for that shit, right? And when it says deceiveth, I'm gonna go into that word deceive, right?
Strong's G 4105 Planao.
It says to cause to stray, to lead astray, to lead aside from the right way, to go astray, wander roam about. It says to lead away from the truth, to lead into error, to deceive, right? Right? It says to be led away into error and sin, right? So I'm verse 14. It says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles." Though that word means, even though it's added, it means it means results, right? The results of those miracles. So people are going to see, oh, it could do that, it could do this. So then it's going to entice them to want to get it, right? So this is and Salakia, I really don't be trying to make my videos long, but it's hard now. But I get there. This James 1 and 13. And it says, "Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High, for the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man." And how we know? Because he gave us what it is that he requires. You know what I'm saying? So the complete opposite and stuff is what he don't require. So he's not going to tempt you. But when it come down to Satan, Satan and the various legion of demons, their job is to tempt you. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right. And what's the proof? This is First Peter chapter 5, verse 8. And it says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." Right? uh, uh, Seeking whom he may devour. So guess what? He's trying to get you. Does not Ephesians the 6th chapter talks about the fiery darts? You know what I'm saying, right? So he's trying to get you. So going back to that James 1 and 13, it says, "Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High, for the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. But every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed." It says, "Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death." Verse 16, it says, "Do not err, my beloved brethren." Right? And since the brethren goes into brother, going to a man and stuff, and females be feeling left out, in the Amplified Bible and stuff, it says, "Do not err, my beloved brothers and sisters." You know what I'm saying, right? And that goes the same for your children, right? Right. So when it come down to it and stuff, right? The only way individuals going to be deceived and whatnot and stuff is because the scripture and stuff is not in mind. You know what I'm saying? That's why the scripture says, "Study to show yourself approved." You know what I'm saying, right? Many are called, few are chosen. The only reason why a few are going to be chosen, because they're going to put on as the elect. And what is the elect going to put on and stuff? The Lord's law, statute, commandments and stuff, because you have faith in His instruction. So the more Judges 5 and 11 and stuff, it says, "Rehearse the righteous acts." The old saying in the world and stuff that we all use, "Practice makes perfect." Right. So the thing is that the more we practice it and stuff, the more that wisdom's going to meet us in every single thought. So what happens to stuff when it come down to a person who know about fashion of this world, and they don't really know the Bible like that and stuff? They gonna be deceived. They gonna be like, "Well, for what I remember and stuff, the mark of the beast and stuff, it did say and stuff that that we ain't gonna be able to eat and drink, and I got that and stuff, and and I still got this and got this going on and stuff." Guess what? They'll fall where it's like, we can give you superpowers and whatnot. They'll fall for that shit instead of being like, "Nah, it says and stuff to stay away from transhumanism. Uh, it- nah, I shouldn't be in a cyborg." Now, if you got a heart to monitor, you know what I'm saying, you got other shit and stuff in your body to keep you going and whatnot, it's not the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying, right? That's not the mark of the beast. A pacemaker is not the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? The mark of the beast is going to come into fruition and stuff for the very fucking reasons. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right? They got a MOTB. Well, the Nanites. You know what I'm saying? With that movie from Van Diesel. I forget what it's called, but guess what? This man, he was able to, I don't know, I said it already and stuff, but he couldn't die. You know what I'm saying? That's going to look like a superpower that looks like immortality and whatnot and stuff, right? And guess what? How many people you think and stuff going to want to sit up here and get that shit, right? Especially the ones and stuff who don't want to wait. They gonna want to get it right then and there and stuff. They ain't gonna want to sit up here and wait for Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. They gonna want to wait for no, they ain't. And guess what? That also goes. Well, I'm gonna get to it. Salaki. They ain't gonna want to wait. You know what I'm saying? They gonna want it now. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? We already know back in that Genesis, the 25th chapter and stuff, what happened when it came down to somebody and stuff who lost patience, right? The brother Amon Kabar said that he had a dream that even brothers of Great Millstone and stuff, which really and stuff is just it could be an exhortation and stuff to not be one of the ones. If you have Great Millstone, Men of Valor, Luke 9 and 49, or various other camps, you know what I'm saying, not to take the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying, but guess what? That means and stuff that if he recognized individual stuff from Great Millstone in that dream and whatnot and stuff, you know what I'm saying, you know, in line and stuff to get the mark of the beast, just imagine how fucking hard it's gonna be and stuff for individuals. So it ain't gonna be no cakewalk. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be something so heavy and stuff that it will bring you to your knees. And as we can see, it's gonna be a short period of time. They talking about in 4 years and stuff. No, they gonna speed that shit up, right? With the Maha and the Maba, right? And the thing is that it's gonna be sped up and stuff. Why? Because the Lord said in Matthew 24 that I would shorten the days for the elect's sake. He that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. Acts 14 and 22, it says, through much tribulation shall we enter the kingdom of heaven. You know, 1 Timothy 6 and 12, fight the good fight of faith. Why would Apostle Paul say that? And remember Apostle Paul and stuff, right? He was in danger and stuff of heathens, his own people, and his own countrymen. And then what happens and stuff when you got certain family members, because even though we all family, right? But what happens when you have certain family members and stuff that you know of or don't know of, and they disagree with you and stuff and feel like you got to get taken down. And when it comes down to Isaiah 33 and 6 and whatnot, you got to do the best that you can and stuff to stay alive. But guess what? You don't have to worry about going to a concentration camp. These regular motherfuckers and stuff going to be looking at you as the problem. There should be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So they're going to be trying to kill you. If they can't change you and stuff to be their side, they're going to be like, you know what? We're going to off your ass because you part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy and stuff because a lot of these individuals and stuff passed critical thinking when it came down to school and shit. You know what I'm saying? But they can't sit up here and see and stuff that guess what? When we also have to go through the various troubles and stuff that we're prophesying about. You never thought about that, did you? No, the fuck you didn't. So I'm gonna read this again. This is Revelations 13 and 14. It says, and deceiving them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, society, its system. It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. It said, right in that image and stuff is the New World Order. And all it is the same system being refreshed. And it says, which had the wound by sword and did live. Just like how Rome failed economically and stuff, them same people proving reincarnation, them same people and stuff are here today and stuff. And guess what? They're doing the same shit in a new era, ain't they? Right? Verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, meaning to bring it to pass. That it says that it come to fruition. It says that the image of the beast should both speak. Do not they want to make all across the world a digital society? You know what I'm saying? They right, and it says, and calls that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? Further showing and stuff that it's going to be a choice. You know what I'm saying, right? So that's why you shouldn't fear. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 23 and 4, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You know what I'm saying, right? Why? Because guess what? They can't make you take anything. Job 4 and 7, whoever perished being innocent. One of my favorite scriptures, right? Further showing and stuff that you have a choice. So if you say no and whatnot and stuff, the Lord's going to hold you to that, according to Hebrews 6 and 18, right? He is not a man that he should lie. You know what I'm saying, right? It's impossible and stuff for the Lord to lie, right? And as I read from that James 1 through 13 through 15, you know what I'm saying, right? Evidently and whatnot, if you're not enticed with what it is that they bring in to continue and stuff to supply and stuff as you live right now, right? The monetary system, woo to woo, right? Whether it's digital already and stuff, right? But they don't want you and stuff to pull it out your wallet and stuff. They want it inside your body. You know what I'm saying? So they can track you and stuff, right? But understand this, you have to take that shit and it's not it's not any type of compliance. You know what I'm saying? It has it's a It's a specific requirement. If you want super abilities, you got to choose what super ability and stuff that comes with that device and stuff that you got to merge with. If you want, if you want to, well, I'm gonna get that, but I'll just jump the gun. If you want to live your daily lives and whatnot and stuff, well, guess what? You're gonna have to get that MOTB. You saving money, you won the lottery and whatnot and stuff, and it's like, well, we understand you got your account, everything and whatnot and stuff, but you can't use these digital cards no more. You got to get a MOTB, and that's where. And guess what? We could switch your account over and stuff, right? So guess what? You're gonna look at the fact that guess what? Everybody's gonna be homeless. Only ones who ain't gonna be homeless and stuff is uh 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 the only ones that ain't gonna be homeless and stuff are the motherfuckers and stuff. I mean, you seen Demolition Man, right? But like the brother I'm one boss saying stuff, he brought up Demolition Man. We ain't gonna be eating rat burgers and whatnot and stuff because rat is unlawful to eat and stuff. So guess what? You still gonna have to have faith, you know. So this 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10, it says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shah Mashiach." Right? Salakia. Let me get this in the Amplified Bible. Let me get this in the Amplified Bible. Motherfucker. This first no. 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. Right? And it says this okay. This 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 9. It says, "Therefore, whether we are at home on earth or away from home and with him, it is our constant ambition to be pleasing to him." Right? It says verse 10, it said, "For we believers will be called to account and must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shah Mashiach." Mashiach, it says, "So that each one may be repaid for what has been done in the body, whether good or bad. That is, each will be held responsible for his actions, purposes, goals, motives, the use or misuse of his time, opportunities, and abilities. Therefore, since we know the fear of the Lord," it says, "and understand the importance of obedience and worship of him, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai," right? It says, "who the world inly calls Jehovah and Jesus Christ of God." It says, "we persuade people to be reconciled to him," right? So where was I before? Where was I? Revelations, right? Right? So you got to watch what you do, Matthew 12 and 36 and stuff. You also got to watch what you say. Remember in Matthew's 18th chapter and stuff, if anyone offend one of these little ones, you know what I'm saying, right? Right? And the thing is that you don't know who is of the elect and stuff. So therefore, you got to walk with the second greatest commandment: treat thy neighbor as thyself. You know, here it is and stuff. You could be two. It could be two. You could have a brother or a sister and stuff, right? Older, younger and stuff, and they getting on your nerves and whatnot, or they messing with you and shit, right? You know, do your parents to be like, do your if you do it too much and whatnot? If one sibling does one thing too much and whatnot, does the parent be like, well, you know, y'all both brother and sister, or y'all both brothers, or y'all both sisters, y'all work it out with the woo, which should be the case in Ciroc, right? But at the same time and stuff, right? If they keep doing too much and stuff, and the parent catching and stuff, right? Does not the other sibling and stuff get their ass whooped? So when it come down to Matthew 18 and whatnot and stuff, you know, it pays off to live an honest life, and you know why? Because guess what? The less blood on your hands, which is guiltiness, that you acquire and stuff upon you on your rap sheet. You know what I'm saying? You know how in Men in Black and stuff, where Will Smith, he had gotten his record cleared, even though he was a cop. You saw how he got his record cleared and stuff from the different crimes that he committed and whatnot and stuff. That's what the Lord is offering. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Lord is offering if you turn that new leaf. Right? So this is Revelation chapter 13 and 15 again. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right. So guess what? There's not going to be any other type of way and stuff to be able to buy and sell. Right. So when it comes down to worship the image and whatnot, the image is the new world order. Right. So with that new world order worship, to bow the knee, to do homage to kiss the ring and whatnot and stuff, you will partake in society and stuff regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that and stuff, shit, you're going to be living off grid and stuff. And if they catch you and stuff, they putting you in a concentration camp to either re-educate your ass or to kill your ass. Because they don't want you and stuff convincing other individuals and stuff, don't take the mark of the beast. Right? Verse 16, it says, and causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Bond is those who are incarcerated. What they'll do, they'll shorten your sentence and stuff. If you take the MOTB, you know what I'm saying? They probably might let you out, right? Who's to say? It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And when you go into that word mark, it's the word charagma, right? And it says stamping and printed mark, but that's not going to be on the skin. And also, it's escape from the electronic tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Leviticus 19 and 28 goes into that, right? Even though it falls off and whatnot and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if that motherfucker don't fall off and whatnot and stuff, and you fucking angry. And the movie Lazarus. No, not the movie. The anime Lazarus goes straight into that. There was I forget what episode it was. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna do a video on it. Where they had this they was looking for this guy called Skinner, and he pretty much gave like some sort of drug, and it's gonna be a season two. But he pretty much came with a drug and whatnot and stuff from some islanders that had a certain condition and stuff where they can't really feel pain, right? And he gave everybody else, and everybody found out and stuff. All they had was 30 days and stuff to live. So you got secret agents and whatnot and stuff trying to find this motherfucker. And the whole time they already did. Already did. They already found that motherfucking stuff in the early episodes. You know what I'm saying? But walk right past them. But besides that and stuff, there's one of the episodes they had this electronic tattoo that glowed up and stuff just so you can get to the VIP areas and whatnot and get close to like a certain individual and stuff, right? And it's raw and stuff. Made you want to sit up here and watch Ghost in the Shell again, which I might do. But anyways, this is it says of the mark stamped on the foreheads of the right on the forehead, and that's not on the forehead like 666 with a marker. You know what I'm saying? It's talking about inside your brain. It says or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah and stuff, as it says in First John the second chapter, right? And it says thing carved, sculpture, graven work, meaning they got to cut into you. It says of idolatrous work. And the reason why it's idolatry, you know what I'm saying, is because not only would you be saying that Esau, Edom and stuff is your God, you'll also, you gotta break the commandment stuff just to get it. And I'm gonna just show you this Leviticus 19 and 28. And it says, ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. It says, nor print any marks and stuff upon you. I am the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Ashai, right? And the thing is that this is the main scripture and stuff when it come down to that we use and stuff when it come down to tattoos, not to get them. If you got them already and stuff, don't worry about it. Just don't get no more, right? You go into that word cuttings and stuff. It's the word sharat, and it says incision. What is incision? Making a cutting in the flesh, a breakage, a gash, right? When you go into the word marks and stuff in the Hebrew, it's the word kwai kwai, and as you can see, it says incision, a gash, right? So when it comes down to the mark of the beast, they got to cut inside of you. It's going to be done surgically. You know what I'm saying, right? And then once again, if it be any other say, if, it be as well as according to the scriptures, this is how it's going to happen. This is the Lord's order. You know what I'm saying, right? You know, All you got to do is escape transhumanism, right? And you'd be surprised and stuff how much fasting and stuff can fucking heal you. You know, you want to the body is already regenerative, right? You know, and fasting and stuff helps that too. You want to press a restart on your system, fast for 72 hours straight. No food, no water. You know? Or you can do intermediate fasts and whatnot and stuff. Or you can do fasts where it's just water and stuff, or just juice and whatnot and stuff. Or you can eat food and whatnot and no liquids and stuff. It's all up to you. Right? So it's back in Revelations 13 and 15 again. Salakia. I'm closing out soon. Bear with me. And it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right? So guess what? That is an option. Why would they kill you if you didn't have a choice? Because you do get a choice. And if you don't choose to partake in a society where you have to have and where it's required and stuff to have the mark of the beast in that new world order, guess what? Your life is on the line. Verse 16, it says, and causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right? It says, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark. It says, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. It says, verse 18, here is the wisdom. It says, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. Right? It says, and his number is 666. Right? And I'm gonna grab this. This is this is
Strong's G 5516. Chi, Psi, Stigma. Chi, Psi, Stigma.
right? And when you go into that word stigma, right, it says stick, prick. It says a mark pricked in, meaning inside. You know what I'm saying, right? It says or branded upon the body. It says to the ancient or Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers. Going back to Exodus the 21st chapter, but this one's going to be the digital all, or like the digital all, right? And the all is an earring and stuff, but they don't want to put it in your ears. The reason why they want to, or they put it anywhere in your body and whatnot and stuff that you choose. But the reason why they put it in your hands, you know what I'm saying, is because it's usually your hand, whatever your dominant hand is. You know what I'm saying? They want to put uh 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 uh, uh whatever your dominated hand is, the stuff is with the hand that you tend to use to make oaths, right? Or swear on, which scripture says that we shouldn't swear or we shouldn't make no vows and whatnot and stuff, right? The MOTB and stuff is making a vow with the creature, right? It says that's claiming to be the creator, which they're not. It says to ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers before and I think certain soldiers and stuff, they had like a little tattoo or something or something like that. It says bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods, right? So you know what that shows? That shows high treason. And what is high treason? When you choose to serve another. And the thing is that a lot of people are going to choose. A lot of our people are going to choose to worship the creature more than the creator, right? Right. So they're going to earn. Look, it says Strong's definition. It says to stick, prick, a mark incised, right? And incised means to cut open. I presume. It says or punched, right? But punch, punch in like punching your ticket. You know what I'm saying? If you ever been on the metro and stuff, you'll give them the dude and stuff in the suit, knowing he hot as hell with them gloves on, and he'll sit up here and take the little thing and stuff and punch a hole in it and whatnot to show and stuff that guess what, you can't reuse that ticket. You know what I'm saying? Have a way. It says for recognition of ownership, right? It says a scar of service, mark, right? Right. So I just want to get that word insides right quick. I know I'm thorough, but I gotta be. I gotta make it plain upon tables. The word insides, it says a carve something such as an inscription into a surface. It says the carve figures, letters, or devices into, engrave, to cut into, cut, gash, rip, shear, slash, slice, slit, right? Right? So that's what you're gonna have to do. You know what I'm saying, right? So this is and it's gonna be a tracking device and stuff where you also able to make purchases, as you can see in verse 17. Right? So what does that mean and stuff? It's gonna have the UPC code, the universal product code. You know what I'm saying, right? Where you'll be a product and stuff of America or wherever you are and stuff, and you'll be tracked. So this Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, and it says doom for the worshipers of the beast, right? It says the thing, it's like it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any worship the beast in his image and receive his mark, it says in his forehead or in his hand, right? So it's like I gotta give you the word receive, the further prove and stuff. I guess what, it's a choice, and I hope it's the right one, right? It is Labano.
Strong's G 2983. Lambano. Lambano.
It says to take with the hand, lay hold of any person or thing in order to use it, right? To take in order to carry away. See, it says to take what is one's own, to take to oneself, to make one's own, to claim, right? Right? So it's gonna be all up to you, right? But don't you see and stuff? It talks about in his forehead or in his hands. Before it said the right hand, now it's saying the hand, so it could be the left one too, right? Right? Forehead being in the brain. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be what Lil Uzi Vert did and stuff and got his shit stolen and stuff by but it was a prelude to let you know and stuff. Guess what? Because he's a product of America. So here it is. He had that stone that he embedded and stuff into his forehead, and that was some like a mask guy. Even though he was trying to beautify himself and got his shit stolen. Um, uh, uh, the that was you know that was it was just a little what was it called? What's it called? It's a it was a shit. What is it called? It's a prelude in a way, right? And they more than likely going to try to use entertainment and stuff to cause people and stuff to be like ooh la la, right? You know what I'm saying? Instead of ay ay ay. So this is Revelation 14:10. It says the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath. Uh, it's like it says in the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with with uh, fire and brimstone. It says in the presence of his holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. Isaiah 66, verse 15 through 16, and then Ezekiel 1:22 talks about the terrible crystal, which is talking about laser beams, right? And it said, verse 11, it's in the smoke of their torment as ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, nor who worship the beast and his image. It says, and it says, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name, right? So I'm gonna get this Revelation 16, verse 2. And it says, and the first went out and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. Right. So this scripture actually further proves that because people will be like, well, I didn't get the mark, I just worship the image. Well, if you worship the image, you got to get the mark because it's part of the new world order, right? Because other than that, they're going to incarcerate you or kill your ass, right? So now let me get these words right quick. This is the word noism, right?
Strong's G 2556. Carcass. Carcass.
Of bad nature, troublesome, injurious, pernicious, destructive, baneful, right? Right? Man, I guess what it's gonna be easily seen, just like how or easily recognizable. You know what I'm saying? Elder Malcolm, he showed a video, he showed a post before where in the past where before and stuff when it came down to the C19, the CVD 19, fill in the blanks, right? And remember what happened stuff when um remember and stuff what happened and stuff, you had to show proof that you took one of them snake bites, the Capri Sun. You know what I'm saying? You had to take those shots. You had to take those shots. You know what I'm saying? Just to you had to take those shots. You know what I'm saying? And then you will have had a little cards and stuff before they start counterfeiting those, making money. But anyways, you had to have those cars and stuff, and you had to show that, you know what I'm saying, just so you could watch movies, go into theaters, go to various little places and whatnot and stuff. Remember that bullshit where they had you separated and stuff, 6 feet and whatnot and stuff, which is so funny and stuff because they prove to you and stuff that it dissipates and stuff in air. So guess what? It doesn't have whatever they're talking about 6 feet and stuff, that means that if a motherfucker sneezes, if you 6 feet apart and whatnot and stuff, you wouldn't get sick. And they still told you niggas and stuff to wear a mask. And motherfuckers and stuff was putting plastic up in their cars and stuff, whoop the woo. Motherfuckers would put the mask on and stuff and the headgear shield, riot shield and stuff over and whatnot and stuff, looking dumb as hell. You know? So this Revelations. So when it come down to and stuff, that noisome is something that's noisome is easily noticed. So when it come down to it, this noisome is talking about the fact that they gonna get sick and you gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? It's like somebody and stuff with some real bad acne. You know what I'm saying? All over their face, right? And it says there's noisome, right? There's noisome. This the word grievous.
Strong's G 4190. Paneras. Paneras.
It said full of labors, annoyances, hardships, bringing toils, annoyances, perils. You know what I'm saying, right? And the thing is that it's gonna make you sick. You know what I'm saying, right? And what I'm looking for the word sore, and I think they took that out. Nah.
Strong's G 1668. Helkas. Helkas.
It says a wound, especially a wound producing a discharge pus. You know what I'm saying? And really it goes into cancer. You know what I'm saying, right? And matter of fact, Shalakia, bear with me. All right, so I got this from AI Overview, and it says what is the RFID microchip in your body? You know what I'm saying, right? It says human implants have always posed potential health risk. It says although there is no conclusive evidence that RFID chips can cause harm to the human body, it says some studies have shown that chip implants may cause infection, allergic reaction, and even have a potential association with cancer. You see, right? So pretty much and stuff, people and stuff who get regular cancer and stuff, what the chemo, what's that shit? You eat some dandelion and stuff, dandelion supplements and stuff, it'll eradicate that shit in 48 hours and stuff. repost the video. I mean, repost what I showed. I mean, what I seen and stuff. Who was it? GMS. Thy will be done. You know what I'm saying? His post goes into a lot of health benefits and stuff when it come down to various plants and whatnot and stuff, right? But as you can see and stuff, guess what? It's going to be a sign for those who took it, right? So this Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. It says the millennial reign. Look at that. It says Revelation 20 and 4. It says, I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai and for the word of Yahweh, just like it says in Revelations 13 and 15. It says, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither had his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands or anywhere else in your body. It says, and they lived and reigned with Yahushua Hamashiach 1,000 years. This is Revelations chapter 2, verse 27. So that's pretty much like Revelations 3 and 10. Right? I jumped the gun because I wanted to read this first. This Revelations 3 and 8. It says, I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast little strength, and hast kept my word. It says, and has not denied my name. And what's that little strength? Keep holding on to what you know. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know the whole Bible and stuff, at least you know something. Right? The scripture says in the book of Sirach and stuff, better is he that knoweth little and fear of the Lord versus one who knoweth the commandments and stuff and breaketh them. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right? Proverbs 24 and 16, a just man falleth 7 times, but get back up again. You know what I'm saying? But the wicked fall into mischief. You know what I'm saying? What is that trouble? That they keep fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting better. Right? Verse 9, it says, behold, I will make them verse 10, it said, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. It says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Right? And that word world, bear with me. It's tripping now.
Strong's G 3625. Oikumene. Oikumene.
The inhabited earth. Right? So everywhere. The inhabited earth. So that's everywhere, not just in America. So there's no way to run to escape this prophecy. Right? Even these underground cities and stuff and bunkers and stuff, they're more likely gonna have it too. So this Revelations 3 and 11, it says, behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Right? And the Amplified Bible says, I am coming quickly. Hold tight what you have, so that no one will take your crown by leading you to renounce the faith. Right? Right? So this is Revelations chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2, and I'm starting verse 7. And it says, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life. It says, which is in the midst of the paradise of Yahweh. It says, and unto the angel of the church in Smyrna, write these things said first. And church and stuff means to call out. You know what I'm saying? Right? And that's what men and Lord do. Right? Write down the stuff I'm calling out and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right? Doing this electronic epistle. It says, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say that are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And it's not just with the small hats. And guess what? There's Israelites amongst the small hats. You know what I'm saying? Because of their complexion, they think that they JWO-ishes, when whole time they JEWs, they Jews, you know what I'm saying, without the ish, because the ish for a suffix means to be like or pertaining to, not of. right? You know what I'm saying? You know, and guess what? They changed everything. They changed the language, you know what I'm saying, and everything, man. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? It's a mixture of Germanic, Slavic, Hebrew, and Aramaic. You know what I'm saying? You know, right? And Zephaniah 3:19, the Lord said that I return a pure language and stuff unto you. When something is pure, it's one element, right? So it says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, right? Rich in faith. It says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say that are Jews and are not. And remember, this goes to Israel first. So you got a lot of individuals who are actually Jews, but they Romans 9:6. Not all Israel is of Israel or of the true descendants stuff of Israel. No, that are descendants of Jacob, but not the true worshipers, as it says in John the 4th chapter. It says, but are the synagogue of Satan, because the vibration they want to follow are what? Esau, Edom. And it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, right? Because even devils believe and yet tremble, right? And the thing is that those devils are not going to be just Edomites. It's going to be your own nation, Israelites, and it's also going to be the children of men. You know what I'm saying? Uh, the heathen nation, like Obama. And it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. You know what I'm saying? And it makes sense and stuff why it would be a concentration camp or a re-education concentration camp. Why? Because the a lot, besides people and stuff who just ain't gonna take it and whatnot and stuff, right? What you got to understand is that a lot of these individuals, when they come down to who is it? I'm not trying to be deep. A lot of these it makes sense and stuff for those who teaching the correct doctrine and whatnot, not those and stuff who sold who took the bag, like IUIC, Israel United in Confusion, ISUPK, Sakari, you know what I'm saying, and various other groups and whatnot and stuff, right? Based off the doctrine they teach, especially when they say there's no Jacob's trouble and stuff, because that's a lie, right? But when it come down to the reason why I believe that they're gonna put a lot of us and stuff in for ones who lot it is, because if it ain't your lot and stuff, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying, right? Or you ain't gonna stay in that bitch and stuff without taking the MOTB, right? The reason why I believe and stuff, speaking as a man, right, that it's gonna be regular concentration camps or re-educational concentration camps. You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't want us preaching this word, they more likely don't want to send us around other individuals and whatnot and stuff where it causes them to believe as well, right? So it said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. It says that ye may be tried, right? It says, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. It's just only for a period of time. It could be 9. It could be 9. It could be 11. It could be, shorter than that, right? It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, right? It says, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt by the second death. And if you America and stuff, that's when the second death will take place, the lake of fire, as you can see, right? So now, I'm gonna skip down. Verse 16, it says, repent, or else I will come unto thee quickly and will fight against thee with the sword of my mouth, which is this word. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's going on stuff when it comes down to these people, right? I'm going to skip down. It says, I'm going to skip down. This verse 27. It says, is it 27? Yeah, it is, this, This Revelations 2:25, it says, but that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels. It says, as it says, as the vessels of a as a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And what it says in uh, uh, um, you know, is in the Heavenly Father's good pleasure and stuff to give us the kingdom, right? This Sirach or Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 28. And it says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. Meaning have the mindset and stuff that you might die and stuff because if you're placed in a position where you resist resisting stuff onto blood, like how Yahweh Shai, he stayed perfect and stuff, even on to death. You know what I'm saying, right? And not all of us is going to be like that. Majority of the nation stuff won't die or be martyrs. The majority of the ones and stuff who believe in the truth and the 100% truth of what the Bible actually speaks on, right? The doctrine of Great Millstone, GMS, Men and Valor, and Luke 9 and 49 and stuff that preach the same exact doctrine. You know what I'm saying, right? Right? The thing is that you gotta account the cost and stuff that you might die for this truth. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, the seven Maccabees brothers and their mother. Read First Maccabees, the first chapter and stuff from verse 40 all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Which I believe is 69. You know what I'm saying, right? Don't get freaky. What else? You know, you know, right? So like Salakia, right? So, some might be martyrs and some won't. It says, uh, uh, uh right, and it says, observe this Sirach 4:20. It says, observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. Everybody's soul is gonna be concerned about the MOTB and stuff, right? And the thing is, just don't take it. Verse 21, it said, for there is a shame that bringeth sin, and we all have fallen short of the glory of the Lord. The wages of sin is death. But guess what? The Lord has put in our spirit and stuff where sin no longer has its sting. You know what I'm saying? We'll have power over sin. And what's power over sin? Not committing it. So all you people that say that God hates the sin and not the sinner, your ass is fooling yourself. You are terribly misinformed, right? It says, for there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace. For all the people and stuff who think that we're doing this in vain, we're not. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's not going to forget our labor of love and whatnot and stuff. And we're going to be the brand new progenitors and stuff in the kingdom. Watch the video that I did called, it's like it. I did a video called, shit, they can't do nothing. Our enemies can't do nothing. Galactic world domination without end, because the Lord's literally going to make us gods when we get transformed in the twinkling of the eye, as it says in 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter. Right? So strive. You know what I'm saying? Right? So I hope this video was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahshua, Harakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, the great millstone, and salutations to the elect, which we hope to be. Shalom, wa Baba, Kwam Yasharala, Salakia, for the fact that it was long.